May is a relatively quiet time in the agricultural calendar. So Stuart and expert charcoal burner Dr. Malcolm Stratford are going to try turning wood into charcoal, a valuable item in the 17th century.
What we've got is an open lattice, and we pack this with dry material, tinder, bits of twigs, bit of dry bark, you know, little chippings, and we pack it down the middle. We then stack all our proper wood around it. Charcoal burning's probably been going on thousands of years, to be quite honest. In the 17th century, charcoal burning really powered the beginnings of the Industrial Revolution.
To turn wood into charcoal, rather than ash, means building a special wood stack around a central chimney. Getting the flue just right is vital.
Charcoal has a lot of advantages. It's a lighter weight material and it's virtually smoke-free, which means you can burn it in a house, for example in a brazier, without a chimney to take the smoke away. The other thing is it's a much purer product. It's basically just carbon, and therefore it can be used for industrial processes like smelting iron.
Charcoal burning was a specialist craft. The professionals would travel from place to place to ply their trade.
The charcoal burners in the 17th century were almost a race apart, a bit like the Romany gypsies were, who almost spoke their own language, lived quietly in the woods, interacted only with themselves and almost nobody else.
It's curious that you find no surnames that would indicate charcoal burning as a profession, and you find no wills or inventories for charcoal burners. And it indicates in a bit of a way that they may well have been just that much more divorced from the whole normal system of life.
It may be slow and laborious work, but it's also highly skilled, requiring diligent attention.
There's a lovely account in one of the Icelandic sagas, Hrafnkel saga, I think, where there was, I believe, a man fell asleep while making charcoal. It all caught fire, and the 80 square miles of forest was burnt down.
Well, there's now only 3 small woods left in Iceland.
Most of the saga was about who should pay for the damage.
The chimney flue finished. Malcolm and Stuart can surround it with the wood they hope to turn into charcoal. In the 17th century, industry was on the rise, and so the need for charcoal was growing ever greater. Britain's woodlands were devastated to meet demand. By lunchtime, Stuart and Malcolm's stack of wood is slowly disappearing beneath a layer of bracken and earth.
The whole purpose of which is to make sure when you burn it, the air doesn't get through. If you were to let the air in at any time when the charcoal's hot, before you know it, you've got an enormous bonfire, and if that happens, you get ash, and of course no charcoal.
It's like putting an enormous fire blanket over the pile of burning wood. The earth is absolutely vital to the process. It controls the flow of oxygen.
Well, that looks fine to me. I can't see any green poking through. We just pat it down with a shovel in a minute and that should be fine.
Once the charcoal pile is complete, it just needs a bucket of embers to get it lit.
Here we go. And can you tip? A small stack of charcoal like this only takes a day to build. Tip it in, tip it in. The bigger stacks could involve up to 30 wagon loads of wood. Once they're stacked, all of them start in the same way. Caught fire already. Just to top it up a bit with a bit more hot charcoal. In we go. Ow, ow. Is that the lot?
With the chimney lit, period sources recommend it should be capped as quickly as possible with some wood and a large piece of turf. Then a close vigil needs to be kept while it slowly smoulders.
Spread it round. Try and pack it in a little bit, but not too tight at this stage.
Better than your average toupee.
Yeah, it is.
Down in the woods, it's difficult to know how successful the charcoal burning has been. There's only one way to tell for sure. Crack it open and see how much charcoal is inside.
Oh good, that's really brilliant stuff there. The fire has basically gone out and the heap's cooled down. There are a few bits that are still brown, not black, but this isn't wasted. All that would happen is a real charcoal burner would take these half-burnt bits and put them straight back into the next burn.
Oh, look at this bit. That's just beautiful, isn't it?
Very nice, very soft.
These small domestic heaps are going to be much less efficient on the burn. The big commercial boys at the time would have been producing much more efficiently. They'd have had maybe 90% plus of good charcoal. Here, what do you reckon, 30, 40%, maybe even 50? 50, you reckon? Yeah, because there's quite a bit gone down between the sticks.
It's not bad at all. There's some good charcoal in the middle.
The charcoal burning has been a reasonable success.
Getting some really nice stuff coming out of here.
There should be enough to fill at least a couple of sacks.
The price of charcoal varied, but generally you're talking about £1 a sack for, which was about a day's wages at the time. Some charcoal burners, of course, had very unfavouring reputations, particularly for half-filling sacks with stones and earth, putting a bit of charcoal on the top, and then selling them off to the gullible public.